Silicone hand Åke are joining you. Just like I talked about a couple of weeks ago, I'm gonna make this silicone hand look a lot more realistic with some super easy makeup tricks. I got this idea to do this a couple of months ago. I think it was from a Moonflare video. And since I worked as a makeup artist for about 7 years and I did a lot of hand makeup, I figured that this is something I'm actually super good at. And I have some amazing tips and tricks to help you make your silicone hand look super realistic. It will take under 10 minutes and you actually don't need a lot of makeup stuff to succeed. And what I will be doing is using some super easy makeup products like my Radiance Booster and my Beauty Blender Iconic Concealer, and also a really well used and loved brown grayish eyebrow pencil that I'm trying to find. Give me a second. Oh, here it is. As you can see, well used. I will also use a contour powder in a brownish color, and also a well-loved and used blush. All this, of course, and together with a makeup brush. All right, if you look at your own hand, the first thing you'll notice is the veins, and also, of course, the skin structure, which is very different from the silicone hand. A lot less plastic, basically. But we're gonna make it look super realistic. So, what I'm starting with today is the concealer. I'll just use a little bit on top of the hand, as you can see here, and also on the fingers. And then I will work it into the hand with the Beauty Blender. As you can see here, I drag and dab. You don't have to be super careful or even super thorough. You just use the Beauty Blender to blend it into the hand, and you can also use your fingers to get that extra blending power. We're only using this concealer to create some extra depth and structure in the skin, so you don't need to be super careful or even make it super nice. It's okay to be a little bit messy. There we go. That was step number 1. Next, I will take my well-used, well-loved eyebrow pencil with a blunt end, so not sharp, as you can see, and I will use it to draw the veins. And if you're unsure of how to paint or what veins look like, you can just look at your own hand and then copy it. As you can see, I'm drawing quite lightly with soft lines that will then blend out into the hand later on. Just make sure the pencil isn't sharp, and just go lightly over, and you can go back over the same line several times to get that faded look. But you don't have to be super careful because we're gonna blend it out. As you can see, the knuckles and the wrinkles on your hand are also a bit darker than the rest of the skin. So here I'm just gonna add a few touches of the eyebrow pencil as well. And I just go by feel and just add a little everywhere because we're still gonna blend it out. And with blending, you can either use a Beauty Blender, which we have on our website under the brand Iconic, to blend this out, but you can of course also use your fingers. You just have to be more careful then, because you remove a lot more product when you use your fingers. There we go, a little bit on the wrinkles. And here you can see the result of the pencil drawing. And going on to the next step, we're gonna take some Radiance Booster from Iconic, but you can use whichever BB or CC cream that you have at home, together with some highlighter or lotion you mix into it to get that extra moisturized look. I also add a little bit of concealer to my Radiance Booster and moisturizer, And then I take the beauty blender. I dip it in and blend it out with all the 3 products to get a nice mixture. Mixture. Make sure not to put too much product on the beauty blender, and then you take it and you just dab on the hand and up onto the fingers, like this. There you go. And then we take the dry side of the beauty blender and go over the hand again to take away some of the shine. We want it to look like a nice moisturized real hand, so I also go lightly over the fingers and the veins to get that feeling that I'm looking for. Dab, dab, dab. Here you can see I use the drag and dab. I drag where I want some product off and then I dab. And then I compare it to my own hand. And if there's anywhere I think there's too much product, I drag, and then if the lines are too sharp, I can go over them separately and just drag and dab on top of them to remove some of the sharpness. I also use some of my fingers to take away some product to reduce some of the shine, especially on the fingers, like this. And there we go. It actually starts to look like something. Yay. Okay. I will now use the pen again as to refill some of the lines that I feel maybe got too faded. And I paint very, very lightly where I think it's needed. But then I also go on top of the knuckles where I want it to be a little bit shaded. And also again, the wrinkles on the finger knuckles, or whatever they're called. The makeup does not need to be perfect. You don't need to be a makeup artist with professional products. You can just take your used eyebrow pencil like I did and play around with it a little bit. Like this. Okay, now we're on to the last steps, and you take a makeup brush like this one, which I already put some product on. And then you take the gray-brown powder, for example, a contour powder like I'm using, and start applying it between the fingers, the silicone hand fingers. You start on the side of the fingers and also go in the depth between the fingers. There we go. If you look at your own hand, you can see that you're darker between the fingers, so this gives a more realistic look. You can see here I also add a little bit on top of the knuckles and a little bit on the skin of the fingers. And then, of course, don't forget the side of the thumb. There's always a little bit of darker skin there. So you do light dusting on the hand knuckles as well to get that feeling of a darker area. There we go. And now lastly, we will use a very well loved blush and go over the same parts inside the fingers. But you can also apply this around the nails, which I don't do here. But if you want that little redness around the nails that our real hand has, you can use this blush around the nails as well. And there we go. Now look at where it sort of looks nice. But ta-da, we're done. This was the time it took, under 10 minutes, to make my silicone hand Åke look a lot more realistic. I will show you the difference with before and after pictures in this blog post after I added the nails. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the show.